Well, it's not necessarily the Butler cabin, but hello friends, welcome to GLVCsports.com. We're at Otter Creek Golf Course here in Columbus, Indiana, where the individual race for GLVC Men's Golf Champion now in the books. It was an exciting finish to the 2013 event. We had a sudden death playoff that lasted one hole, and our GLVC champion here from the University of Missouri St. Louis, Joe Atkisson. And congratulations, Joe. You had a one-hole sudden death victory over Tanner Bileski of Rockhurst University. But first off, congratulations, and talk a little bit about what it means to be a GLVC champion.
Well, thank you. I think obviously it's a great honor to be GLVC champion. It's one of the first I think it is the first in UMSL history. So that's always a good thing that we can represent the school well and hopefully continue the goodness of the greatness of the golf program. And we have a little work left to do tomorrow for the team.
A 2 under 54 hole score of 214, 70, 73, 71 your rounds. Let's talk a little bit about the round today and getting around in 1 under par 71. Give us some of the highlights of your 18 holes today.
Birdied one, started off well, birdied one, and then played pretty good on the front. Turned it one over, had back-to-back bogeys on 8 and 9. Kind of set me back, but then I birdied 12 and 13 coming in, and 12, 13, and 16, and bogeyed 17. And then after that, had a really good 2-putt on 18. Had to make a 5 or 6 footer that I knew was important, so it was good. Played well.
You talk about birdieing one, getting off to a good start. That was number one was where the playoff hole was. Let's talk a little bit about getting into that playoff and going over to number one. You had honors rather, and you found the short turf off the tee and hit an unbelievable second shot. I'm not sure it even left the pin from about 245 yards out, just over the green, and had a chip back and a winning birdie. But give us your take, what it meant to kind of go to sudden death there and play against Tanner.
It's a little more nerve-wracking than normal. Obviously, I would have liked to won it out front, but being able to go to a playoff with everybody watching, it's always fun. You always practice with you have a 5 or 6 footer in a playoff with everybody watching to win tournaments, so it was a fun experience.
And Troy Halterman, the head coach of the Tritons here, this is a history maker. Joe alluded to this. This is the first time in University of Missouri St. Louis history that they've had an individual or a team GLVC champion. So obviously it has to mean a great deal to you coming from your program here, the very first GLVC champion in school history.
Yeah, obviously proud of the team, proud of Joe especially. He's worked very hard in his 3 years there, and so very happy for him to achieve that and to go down in history as the first for our university. So as he alluded to, we've got a little work tomorrow left in the team competition, and we'd like to add the first team championship in school history as part of this conference. So very excited about what's yet to come.
And Troy, let's talk a little bit about the match play competition, the middle match play. It's still a relatively new format. This is the second year the GLVC has done it, but the top 4 teams that finished 54 holes today advance to match play competition. The Tritons have the number 1 seed after a 54-hole score of 877, 292 today. Let's talk a little bit about your team going into the championship here. You guys have really been on a roll here with the regional play that you guys have had. A lot of momentum coming in. You were probably the favorite to win it, the number 1 overall seed as seeded by the conference. Now we get into 36 holes, but before we play the second 18, you got to play the first, and you're going up against the number 4 seed Lewis University Flyers.
Absolutely, and Lewis has played very well coming in 4th, and we've played with them this year, and they've got some very good players, and so I think expect it to come down to the final match. That's what these matches do, and when you look at other tournaments that have this format, it's always close. It comes down to the end, so very excited to have this guy playing in the anchor spot for us if it comes down to it. We feel very confident.
Yeah, Troy, I think it speaks volumes for your team because, with Joe winning today, obviously the past couple tournaments you've had success with a talented young freshman. And then here you have another Triton who had the individual lead going into today. So obviously a lot of people on that Triton squad there just playing a really, really good golf at the best time.
Exactly. You know, that we're going for our third tournament win in a row here, and we've used 6 different players in that lineup. 3 of them as freshmen. And you mentioned David Abel, the freshman, who'd been our best player probably the last 2 weeks, and he struggled a little bit this week, actually going to be in the 5 spot tomorrow for us. But then you mentioned Chase Smith, a great tournament, finishes 3rd, all conference for him as a senior, our lone senior here in the event. So I'm very happy for him to finish up, you know, his GLVC career with all conference tournament.
Well, history was made here on the Monday at Otter Creek. History perhaps to be made tomorrow here on Tuesday at Otter Creek as Missouri St. Louis goes for their very first team championship as members of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Your 2013 GLVC individual champion, Joe Atkisson.